Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very first episode of the UpScale Podcast. My name is Daniel Day, and I'm the co-host along with William Niven.
Hello, listeners. Me and Dan, two creatives, different sides of the world. I'm based in Bournemouth. Dan's over in Dubai. We've created this series just to share our stories from people that we've met along the road, entrepreneurs, designers, and people that are dreamers, really, and that have just really gone after their goals and achieved some amazing things. I mean, me and Dan are on Zoom, well, more now than ever, but we're on Zoom calls to people every day. And I've always said we should be recording these. So that's exactly what we've done. And you could just get a bit of an insight as to,
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Just a bit of an insight as to how these things have come about, and that's it.
We've studied at the same university. We're both in the design field, and I think you agree that we both want to kind of make a difference in what we do.
Correct.
This is kind of one of the aims with our podcast.
Love it.
And our first guest today is actually yourself.
I got to get the ball rolling, haven't I? Why not?
You sure have. But no, you've got an inspirational story and a successful business. If you would like to tell us more about yourself, what you've done in the past and what you're currently doing.
Yeah, okay. So obviously my name's William Niven. I founded a creative agency called Unboxed. We've been going since 2015. I founded it whilst I was at uni. And we got a team of 6 guys. We've worked with some amazing clients. We worked with Nike Plus, Pucker Pads, Addison Lee, and just tons of different really interesting clients. And we produce all types of work. You know, we do branding, we build and design and develop websites. We create content, photography and film, and we do all sorts of digital marketing. So we build brands and we develop their platform and we get them to market. And it's great. I love what I do. And I think, Dan, you probably agree with me on this. We're very, very lucky to wake up in the morning and honestly say, I actually love going to work. And I think it's very rare. And it's a privilege, really. To give you a bit of background.
It's more than a job.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why we're doing this. And that's why me and you throw things about all the time with different design ideas. And you just, if you've got to do stuff out of hours, you jump in on it, don't you? And that's it. Perfect. So did a extended diploma in art and design first. And then my dad had like building companies, and he always said to me, "He's like, you'll never make any money in design." And I was like, "Oh, okay, Dad." And I was like, "Okay, great." And he said, I'll meet you in the middle, and you can do architecture. And I was like, Will the architect. That sounds kind of cool. So
okay.
Maybe I'll go with that. Yeah, I know. So I went on the course, having little or no knowledge into architecture at all, and I loved all the designing side of things was great, but when it came to building regs, oh my god, building regs is like
it's another level.
I come up with these wacky ideas, and they're like the window's an inch too far to the right, like you fail. So so I ended up dropping out, and my parents weren't very happy about that, but I dropped out, and I worked in a clothing shop in Bournemouth called Richmond Classics, and actually seemed like
Richmond.
I worked there, and I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but actually it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. There was the owner, Keith. He just ended up becoming like a mentor for me. And I ended up working in the e-commerce store. I learned about branding, learned about how to market things online, photographing the products, and it was great learning about retail and fashion, and it was really interesting. And off the back of that, I set up a jewelry company. I had that for a bit, and then set up a shoe company. And both of them, I ended up coming into the same sort of problems just because I didn't have textbook kind of education in branding and everything. So I decided to go back to uni. Yeah. I mean, you've had clothing brands. You know what it's like to get them off the ground. I went back to uni, and I studied visual communication. And I couldn't help myself. I was freelancing, and then set up another business. And by the second year, I was employing like 50% of my course. And my tutor said to me, they said, you can either stay on the course and finish Unboxed because you're distracting the students too much, even though I thought I was doing them a favor. Yeah, I thought I was doing them a favor.
Some extra money.
Exactly, but I was stopping them
Students
from,
love some extra cash.
Exactly, go and get a bottle of champagne or something out. But I mean, I was stopping them from working in a bar or something. I ended up dropping out again, and my parents were like, this is the second time.
It's getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, they were like, this is the second time. And I was like, no. I know what I'm doing. Like, this is my passion. And it was quite funny, actually. A year later, a co-working space opened in Bournemouth called This Workspace. It was owned by the guy that owns Ted Baker, and it was this amazing place. And he invited us in, and cool. It was. Did you ever see it? It was the old print room, and they renovated it all. That was on Richmond Head as well.
Print
actually.
room. Yeah, I know the one.
All like the yellow branding. So we basically moved in there, and I used to work like crazy hours. I'd be in there till like sort of 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. And I remember one night I'm sat in there, and there was a tour going on. For some reason, there was a tour going on at like 9 o'clock at night. It was the weirdest thing. And the guy, the guy that was walking around said to me, kind of comes in, knocks on the door, and he goes, "Oh, I've got some people from the uni here. They're just, come to say hello." And it was my bloody old tutor. And she goes, "Oh, Will, I thought I recognised you." And I was like, "Oh, hi." I was like, "Oh, hi." She goes, "I always knew you could do it. Always believed in you." But yeah, and then after that, we just kind of grown from strength to strength. We've got a fantastic team. I mean, they make working every day absolutely amazing. And this home working thing in isolation's been a tester, but luckily we're geared up for it, and it is what it is. I mean, how have you found
coming
things
through it? I think it makes it a lot easier that obviously both of us we freelance, so you get used to kind of working on your own in your own space.
This whole thing's crazy though. Lockdown. We could do a whole nother podcast on that probably.
How many years has it been going out Unboxed?
Well, since 2015, so 5 years now. Yeah, it's mad to think I was freelancing on my own, and then it's just kind of grown from there. It's all about the people you have around you, really. And it, if it wasn't for my first initial clients, sort of building it up from there, then that's what it's crazy to think that they kind of signed you on without a portfolio, and I kind of think I don't really know how I did it, but it's
I know.
It's mad, isn't it? Uni work, I suppose. And then,
so I'm trying to think of the agencies. Was there a lot of competition in the area?
Yeah, I mean, there still is. There's some amazing companies that operate in and around Bournemouth. Yeah. It's a real hub. I find that a lot of other companies, they specialize in sort of one area, whereas we're kind of like a start to finish agency. So people will come to us with new concepts that will create their identity, build their platform, and then kind of get them out there. But there's other companies that are really good as well, but each and all of them have their own specialties and kind of areas that they work in. There's some brilliant app development companies in Bournemouth as well, and it's always changing. New things are always popping up, and it's not, I don't really think of it as like a really competitive realm, because there's enough work to go around. But I think there's a really good community for kind of acknowledging other people's work and thinking like, okay, actually, that's really good what you've produced there. So yeah, it's a good little hub, Bournemouth. Oh, that's wicked. It's nice to be able to.
It's quite nice because we get to go to a lot of the. I think Manchester's quite a nice creative hub as well, and then like London's always quite an inspiration. Just go back to all the art galleries and everything. But yeah, I think I need to explore creative scene more when I'm next in Bournemouth.
Mate, 100%. I mean, the weirdest thing is, the amazing thing really, which is one of the reasons that we've launched this, is the power of technology, and that we can obviously have this conversation and talk about things from across all this way, and it's just amazing, really. Trying to compare everything. It's mad.
It is. No, it's good though. It's great, and I think, like you said, there's a lot of companies developing apps in them. I think that's maybe down to like the great university as well. And Bournemouth University, they have a lot of computer science and app courses, and the can't even remember what do they called when I used to be at the arts university. It was is it the AUCB or the AUB? I know they've changed it a few
AUB
times.
now. I mean, I did.
Is it the AUB?
I did what was called an extended diploma in art and design, which was part of the college course, but I don't even think they do that anymore. So but yeah, AUB, they've got some fantastic stuff. So I do a lot of work with the uni and talks with them, and something that I always get asked is, how did you start? And I think the main thing is just put yourself out there, do as much work as you can, even if it's not paid. You've got your whole life to get paid and build up your portfolio and that sort of thing. To get paid.
Yeah, 100%.
If there's an opportunity, just go for it. Hustle. Yeah, you're a big advocate of that.
That's like, just expose yourself, hustle, just get out there in front of everyone, get on every like LinkedIn, like every social platform there is.
One of the biggest things that I found was I would call it being a yes man. I think it's not always the best thing to be, but I first started out, I would always say yes to everything. So if someone said to me, can you design me this logo? Yes, I can. Can you design me this website? Yes, I can. I didn't know how, but I'll learn it and I'll do it. If you've done it enough times, then, you know how to do it. That's the only way that you learn. Because there isn't, the uni will teach you a certain amount, but you need to kind of expose yourself to it and make mistakes and learn from them and kind of build it up from there.
What are you hoping to achieve in the future?
I mean, it's a big question, but one thing that we're looking at the moment, or I've been looking at, this is a really weird scenario. We signed on a couple of companies in the finance sector in Hong Kong, literally just before this whole thing kicked off. And it was so weird. And we had actually planned for our whole team to go out there and go and visit them and work out of their office, and it was mad. But what I'd really like, I know, but in answer to your question, what I'd really like to do is open up some other offices. I'd love to hit up Dubai. I'd love to hit up Hong Kong if we can. But it's just building that client base. I just think you need to have some clients there before you move into it. It's going to be much easier to market and kind of grow over there. So, I mean, location's one thing. We do work with clients all over, but they're very dispersed. They're not within set locations. So that would be nice. I think another thing, I'd love to really grow the app development side of things. I mean, at the moment we can UX UI them, but we're getting third parties to build them. So that would be somewhere that I'd want to grow.
Develop.
Yeah. So I don't know. I suppose that's it. We're always tweaking and changing things and improving things, and adapting and improving is part of being in the creative industry. So it's one of those, just to grow and develop, I think.
Perfect. So obviously we're all about inspiring others to chase their dreams. I know we've said a few inspirational quotes already, but any kind of great advice you could give to our listeners who are setting up or looking to reach their goals? Maybe they're kind of working already and like they want to reach their dream job, or they want to set up their own business.
I would say, my biggest mistake was that I was so stubborn that I learned everything the hard way, and I kind of went after it, made the mistake, and then learned from it. I would do your research and talk to whatever you're looking to achieve. Talk to someone that has already done it, and they'll tell you. They will tell you the experience that they've got, and they'll tell you what mistakes that they've made. And just take that, and you're going to save yourself a load of time. But, before you even do that, just go for it. If you've got an idea, do your research and just go with it. I know Alex Chisnall that I'm going to be talking to later on. He's got a podcast called Podtrepreneur. He was founder of Virgin Startup. And I think he calls it the 8 out of 10 rule. And he says, if you're 80% of the way with something, just launch it. And the 20% you can fix and stuff once it's Yeah, exactly. And I really liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suppose that would be my advice.
Nice. So we're going to do some quick fire questions at you.
Okay, fire away.
Our first one is, what's your go-to order at your favorite hometown restaurant?
Oh God. Well, favorite restaurant.
Where is your hometown? Is this
Bournemouth's a hometown. Usually favorite or the restaurant that we go to the most would be Danny's decision. So I would say it's going to be there's this cheese and wine place called Renouse, and I'd probably say, I don't know, a cheese platter. Is that a food? I'd go, obviously it's food. I'd go for that. Quick fire. That's my answer. More the wine than the cheese, probably.
It goes down. Platter. Yeah. Lovely wine. Yeah. Just get the wine.
Yeah.
And is there a book you most recently read that you would recommend to people? Or maybe a podcast?
Yeah, I do read occasionally. The book that I've read most recently is called Sapiens. Very interesting. Not about entrepreneurship.
Oh yes,
yeah. I mean, if you want something that's a bit different, it's really interesting. It's the history of man from beginning. But if that floats your boat, then go for that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest. I have got it. I did start it, but I haven't.
But you haven't read
it. We were going to do a book club, and that did come up, but still. But I will. I'll take you up on that, and I'll read that one. And what is your lockdown TV series?
Oh God, Breaking Bad, 100%.
Breaking Bad.
I started it from the beginning again. It's brilliant.
Nice.
Binge it.
Awesome.
The dog watches it as well. He sits there and just mesmerized. Right.
That's why he's doing that now. Is he? You're that.
I'll go in there. He'll be ahead of me.
And so, how are you keeping sane during the lockdown? Is there anything kind of weird that you're doing? Any fixes or just
gardening?
Binge watching?
Lots of gardening. I have literally purchased every activity that you can think of. I've bought an easel. I've got my guitars out. I've got the spade. I've even resorted to ordering paint. So keep an eye on my Instagram. There's going to be some home improvements coming up. That'll be another series.
Wow. Yeah. Hit your tag up for the Instagram. Let's get everyone watching the paint drawing. And okay, last one. What do you wish you had known when you first started out?
Ooh, what do I wish I'd known? To price ups, maybe? I mean, that's a real learning curve for creatives, I think. I know it sounds like something stupid, but I think with every area of design, marketing, branding, photography, film, getting your fee structure right, actually, it's imperative to being successful, but that's a complete learning curve because no one teaches you to do that. So, I mean, if you have any questions about that, I would just Google it. Just Google it. I mean, the easiest way to do it is work out an hourly rate and go that way. That will save a lot of headache. I mean, I don't know what you think from being you do a lot of freelance design. What do you think from that side of things?
Yeah, I think obviously with experience comes the more knowledge of what to charge. It's definitely one of those areas when you're at university and everyone's like, oh, I've got offered this job. I don't know the hourly rate. It's definitely a talked about subject. Yeah, just Google, just ask some people. Don't be shy, I guess.
Research. That's the key.
Just ask us if you're in this position right now. Just hit us up, and we'll be happy to help you.
Brilliant.
Semi-quick fire questions.
Okay, fantastic. That wraps up our first episode of UpScale.
Woo! We've got some great guests coming up. We're going to do as many episodes as possible, and we've got quite a few people lined up.
Yeah, so if you keep an eye on our Facebook page, we'll be adding those in the events section, and obviously an eye on our Instagram and our Twitter as well. We've got some really interesting guests coming out. We've got professional footballers, we've got people that own interior design companies, we've got other people that have got podcasts, creatives, designers, all sorts of things coming up. So keep an eye on our social channels and keep listening.